I am from Kingston. I grew up in East Kingston, next door to Kensington Cricket Club. Yeah. Well, I actually moved there when I was about 12 years of age, and that was how I got into cricket. Much before that, I went to Clancarty Primary School and actually played football for the school, and then I passed my common entrance to Kingston College, and in that same time period, I moved to Wellington Town, where I spent the rest of my formative years.
So cricket, was it love at first sight?
I suppose, you know, when you moved into the community where it was all cricket, you didn't have a choice. And when I say literally next door, the cricket club is over the wall from where I live, right? So I don't think you had a choice.
So you played youth and national cricket?
No, I didn't actually play. And I don't want to give you that story, but I was told that I should have played. But I was going on to university and they figured, and I was not going to be a cricketer. So they gave it to somebody who they felt would be a career cricketer. That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
I guess.
But I went to the national trials on two occasions, under 19.
Okay.
Then I went off to university to study hotel management.
So other than cricket and football, any other sports you're into? I mean, are you an athlete?
I would like to say I've played a little bit of squash. My legs have been giving me a little trouble these days.
Good sport.
And of course, golf is my second love.
Great sport.
Yeah, these days. And just to mention, I have shot handgun for Jamaica at the World Championships in 2002. So
don't get on the wrong side of you then.
I did that for a little bit. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a sport that really gets the adrenaline going. And then after, I think in 2005, I gave it up and started to play golf. I've been on the West Indies Cricket Board for 13 years now, going 14 years, May this year. Time is flying. And one of the things that we've always wanted to do, ever certainly since I joined West Indies Cricket Board, was to develop a professional structure for our players. We knew it was lacking, but we just never had the resources. And each time we felt we were getting there, then there was some other rift between our players and ourselves. And in each time we relented, and we just never got that development for the domestic game. And I think that's what has set us back for the last 20 years. We now have CPL, we now have the PCL, and we have the Magical Super 50, all professional tournaments for our players. So for the first time, we actually have players who are playing in the Caribbean who can call themselves professional cricketers.
Why has the relationship deteriorated so much between the board and the current batch of players?
It's one word: trust. And between players and board. And what is interesting is that the same players who years after retiring become the board, there's still that mistrust between them. So for example, even when Sir Wes Hall was president and he thought he was a player's man, they had 2 strikes under him. And I think what I have tried to do in our administration is to sit with Wavell and to reason with him about an overall plan, an overall development plan that says if we don't put in a sustainable system, then what we have now is going to get worse. I saw an article recently where they've disclosed all the fees that IICB all players get and those in Cricket Australia. They've left out a lot of information. They've left out the fact that our players now under the CPL make $150,000, most of them. The Australian players don't get an additional fee for playing in their big bash. Okay?
Right.
So our players are getting another $150,000. Prior to that, they probably would have made about $5,000 a year. So our players earn 25% of our revenues. Now, once our revenues grow, the difference goes to the players. And so that's a partnership I've sold Wavell on to say, listen, let's grow this thing together, and once we benefit, you will benefit. What was different last year, though, it wasn't the Players Association that we had a disagreement with. for the first time, there was some players who went against the Players Association. So it was a very different situation last year. But again, I agree. We have already sought the help of FICA and WIPA to find a way to bring all our players to sit down and have a discussion with them about the system. Because I think some of them are misinformed, ill-informed, informed in a particular way about what we're trying to do, and we need to try and get them all in a room where we can sit down and have a very, very frank discussion, because the payment systems that we have in the West Indies Cricket Board is better than most. We're concerned about the agreements that Wavell signed last year with us. And when they had their meeting, they went through the agreements, and they've now said that the payment systems in West Indies is just as good as any, if not better than most.
Mr. Cameron, how could you let them leave India?